offense how we know to play offense.
Our possessions have to be valued in a sense of getting a look. Whether the shot goes or doesn't go, we don't always, that happens. But trying to not, turn it over quickly and trying to keep the pace of the game, that's something that gives us the best opportunity.
That streak of, losing those 3 games in a row, it taught us a lot about ourselves. We learned from it. We kept a level head. And Coach Ray just told us, we got to be the hardest playing team every game we go out there.
You can make a case that we've had a lot of big games, but they're the 2 biggest games we played at home today, because of obviously the ramifications.
Momentum's a crazy thing, and it's easier to build it at home. And so, I'll let you know after the Oklahoma State game what kind of momentum we have.
That's what we're going to hang our hat on. This isn't anything that I've come up with. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some kind of a genius. Hoisington runs the football. Pratt runs the football. Scott City runs the football.
I don't want to see no tweet from Russell Wilson today saying that, I didn't say this, and Pete Carroll was a father figure to me. Man, I'm sick of seeing that side of Russ.
Eric Bieniemy, under no circumstances, should be the Washington Commanders' offensive coordinator because he's overqualified for that position.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Streaming live on YouTube. Watch it later if you want to. Yeah, we're all about it here on Sports Day, the Friday show. Busy week coming to an end tonight. There's going to be some big games. State wrestling tournament is underway. On our show today, we'll talk with Connor Nickel, our KVGB high school basketball insider. We'll talk about some of those games. We're not going to get into, I don't think, Hayes High and Great Bend as much today. There's a lot of other stuff going on. He's going to be in Hayes tonight, so he's going to join me between games when they're having the senior ceremony. Since you're not going to be there, Aaron, I didn't have anybody to go down and hold the mic down by the people that they introduced to Hayes High seniors.
You're not going to try to convince Connor to do that?
I don't want to. We're not going to have Hayes High seniors on the broadcast tonight. So that's coming up here in just a little bit. Also, Barton basketball coach Jeremy Combs will be in. Cougars with 2 games left before the season ends, the regular season. And Mike Corson will be talking with Great Bend Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. We'll have all of today's headlines, including Aaron coming up in a moment with an update from state wrestling tournaments involving our area athletes. So let's get to it. Our sounds the past 24 hours, Caden Sharman. The hostile environment. The vulgar language being tossed out of the Hayes High student section. Whatever happened to Rule 52? I don't know if there's anything that comes out of there that might be vulgar, but it'll be a home court tonight for the Hayes High Indians as the 2 teams battle. This is probably going to be the first of 2. They're in all likelihood going to play next Wednesday. Whether it's going to be in Hayes or whether it's going to be in Great Bend will be determined by tonight's winner. Great Bend blew out the Indians 64-47 in Great Bend, but that was it. Great Bend led by 27 points into 3 quarters, completely dominated that game. I don't think Hayes High came in taking that very seriously. That's when we really saw the freshmen come out. Yeah, it was a freshman show. Ian Premer with 25 points in that game, 7 rebounds. Jacob Hall had 11 points, 7 rebounds in that game. Can the Panthers do it again and get that home court in next week's sub-state?
And, I'm sad that I don't get to see it tonight because Coach Creed kind of hit on it last time we talked to him. Teams have started scouting Ian Premer a little more. He's not able to catch him by surprise, be the freshman that doesn't have any film to go off of. Teams are starting to scout him more, realize he's going to that left-hand turnaround. I'm excited to see how Hayes tries to stop him, and I'm also excited to see what Coach Creed, how he uses him potentially as either a focal point or maybe as a decoy, try to get Hayes paying a lot of attention to Premer, dish it out to some of those peripheral scorers that we've seen stepping up lately.
Braylon Council has been he's hitting 36% from three-point land this season, and I think he's hit 3 of his last 5. He just hasn't shot the ball very much. So, yeah, go ahead and dump it down in there. We'll see. Hayes, their last 4 games that they've lost have all been to ranked teams, and the one that kind of gets your attention that they're playing a little bit better, too, is that 4-point loss at McPherson, who's ranked second in 5A. This will be fun tonight. Little juice on the line here for Hayes High and Great Bend. Cindy Beck kind of talking about, can't score if you don't shoot. Launch it up there. Let's go.
That's been theme for the Lady Panthers season so far. It seems like they try to force just that one more extra perfect pass, trying to look for that perfectly uncontested shot, the just 100% taken in shot, instead of throwing it up when they have a little bit of space, seeing what they can make in the jumpers. We've seen them have some success from those long, about 18-foot to 16-foot range, shooting those jumpers. They just haven't let them fly with a lot of frequency.
Yeah, Kinsey Premer. Remember when Sadie came out of the game Saturday? And then all of a sudden the shots started going. Kinsey ended up with 8 points, hit 4 or 5 shots. She's a good shooter, man. So let's see what happens tonight. Great Bend got Hayes in the final game of the regular season last year. So let's see if they can do it again tonight. We'll have both games for you on B1043 The Point, starting at 5:45 with the Venture Corporation pregame show. Okay, other sounds. We'll get to those high school scores. Oh, by the way, Dodge City beat Liberal again last night.
I saw that.
35-33.
The
other one was 32-29.
The girls' whack is just, well, I guess the whack in general, but especially on that girls' side, is just so wacky. The Dodge defense must just have Liberal's number or something.
Well, they just slow it down and
control the possession. Just props to Dodge City playing their style of basketball, slow possession, kind of grit and grindy. It worked for them twice against Liberal this season, and that's a good Liberal team.
Yeah,
we've seen that Liberal team.
Yeah, we said Saturday. Well, they're finally starting to put it together. You know, they're hitting 3-point. No, so Dodge City ties Liberal for the conference title, and had they not lost to Hayes on Tuesday, they would be conference champions, but they're not. So, anyway, Hayes High and the Great Bend Lady Panthers tonight. We saw how Liberal plays defense. They got beat last night 85-81. It must have been up and down game between them and Dodge City. Dodge City comes out on top. Okay, Kevin McCullough, Kansas Jayhawks, talking about the turnaround. KU's won 5 straight since they lost 3 straight conference games. They will be home to take on West Virginia tomorrow. Bill Self says, arguably, say these 2 biggest games coming up. They can win those, see what Texas does. They play at Baylor tomorrow. And then next Saturday, it'll be KU in Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns. Kansas State, meanwhile, playing at Oklahoma State. Jerome Tang, he's a good guy, but it's one of those, someone asks, well, do you have momentum after you got that victory? He said, well, momentum you get, momentum breeds at home. I have no idea. We'll see what happens in Stillwater. That game's at 1 o'clock. KU plays at 3 tomorrow. K-State on ESPN2. Kansas is on ESPN. We'll have the broadcast on Hits 106.9 starting at 2:30. KU and Texas tied for first, 11-4. Kansas State, Baylor, both tied for third at 9-6. Brady Keith, a guest yesterday, came in for Sports Day. New coach at Larned High School. Liked what I heard. Wants a lot of accountability in the program. And he also wants to run the football, mentioning some of those schools that do that. And another thing that he kind of hit on yesterday that I really like is something you see, I know for sure, at Hoisington. Hoisington kids run the same offense when they come out of the womb, okay? They run a flex bone, right? I mean, and that's what he wants to install with all the way through the youth football teams. Now, Zach Baird, he carries a big stick, and he comes in there and says, okay, boy, this is the way we want to do it, and no one argues with him. I don't know if Brady Keith can do that in another town other than Larned, but he's a hometown kid, so why not get everybody on the same page? Running the same thing.
And that's kind of what I was going to bring up. It's easier for these small towns to kind of get that program consistency started in their peewee leagues and work up through the middle school into the high school. You don't have that opportunity in some of the bigger metro areas like Wichita, the Kansas City. It's impossible to get one solid program. So I like it, and I also, being a former offensive lineman, I'm always going to love running the ball. You know, that's music to my ears.
And offensive linemen are key in that you can run the best running game in the world, but if you don't have the guys up front who are strength conditioning and all that, look at Hoisington. Those kids are tough. Andale hates a pass, and you can't stop them, but those are tough kids. So to me, it's not about what the offense is. It's if you're going to run that style of offense, got to get tough.
And Lorne has always had big offensive lines. Now, he said yesterday they're not going to be quite as big. But, you see third and fourth graders running out of shotgun with trips one side and empty back. What? Just just let him learn the fundamentals of the game and just play some football. They're out there trying to trick so he can win a title. I don't know.
You shouldn't be allowed to get out of like 12 personnel under sixth grade. I don't know what you need anything more than 2 tight ends and a running
the
back out there
shotgun, the
for
ball
you.
rolls back to the quarterback every time. So,
15-yard Hail Mary.
so good luck to Brady Keith. Appreciate him coming over for the show yesterday. Is the shine coming off the penny of Russell Wilson? People have turned on him. Was always the coach before. Well, now this report comes out that Russell Wilson was trying to get his coach fired in Seattle, and Harry Douglas says he's tired of hearing about Russell Wilson always trying to be the good guy in public when maybe he's pulling some shenanigans behind the scenes. I don't know.
I saw that too. Allegedly, like a year ago, or
Yeah,
about
they
a
want to
year.
get Pete Carroll fired.
Yeah, Pete Carroll and the GM, John Schneider.
Wait, the Pete Carroll that called a pass play on the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch?
Execute the play.
The Pete Carroll
Execute the
that coached
play.
at USC and got
I'm just
in
saying
trouble?
that the receiver was open on that pass. Russell Wilson threw the pass behind Ricardo Lockett there, and Malcolm Butler was able to pick it, and I'll never forget it.
Now, there's no reason why they couldn't have tried to run it a couple of times.
Yeah, I absolutely think they should have ran it too.
It's hard
but
to
The
intercept.
play call was there because everyone was thinking, like the Patriots were thinking the run too. Lockett got a good break. Russ, if he put the ball a little more on target, could have had a touchdown, but they should have just ran it. They had the best power back in the league at that time on their roster.
But the quarterbacks, so why don't people blame the quarterbacks ever? Rodgers in that playoff game, why did he could have run the ball into the end zone? He could have walked in. He tried to throw it. Yeah.
Speaking of, he's out of his nap. We don't know where he's going to go.
Yeah, he was spending some time as like a hobbit, I guess, like in a part hobbit themed, partially underground, no lights, a mattress, and a floor mat for meditation.
I think it's somewhere in Norway. I'm watching this Vikings thing, and they go to this place like every 9 years to get the. Only problem is there's 9 guys that get put in a pen with 9 pigs, 9 goats, and 9 sheep that are all sacrificed at this event. So I don't know if.
Well, I'm not quite sure what he's playing for the Packers, so it'd have to be like 9 wheels of cheese or something in there, right? Trying to.
And Kimberly Martin, Eric Bieniemy deserves better. Oh, it's unfair. All I can say is to people if you were the owner of a team, and just think about it. Okay, the owner of the team, and you needed a coach, would you hire Eric Bieniemy?
He's interviewed.
Because they obviously know other things. I don't know. I think this is a perfect spot for him to show what he can do.
To me, he's interviewed of all these jobs. He had the opportunity. I have no idea what's said in those interviews. I don't know if he sells himself. I don't know if he comes across as somebody they want in their organization to lead their organization. So this is his opportunity. Washington's giving it to him. We'll see what he can do, but I'm not going to say that he's God's gift of football because maybe those organizations had a reason not to pick him.
It goes back. I mean, Andy Reid's calling the plays, man.
And
It's
he's going to have his
100%. Yeah, he's
gonna have his work cut out for him. He said he's planning on having Sam Howell as the starter. He showed flashes last season, but I don't know. It's going to be if he can make Sam Howell work and make him look like a productive quarterback.
That's the downside about going to Washington. But the bar's very low.
And
okay?
that maybe that defense will be able to help boost him out more than the defense in KC ever did for him.
What are the odds on Heineke MVP? Might throw in $5.
I like Heineke.
I like Heineke. He wins games. He has those moments late in games where he gets guys to rally around him and gets them to really come back for
That's
some wins.
coaching, man. Eric Bieniemy taking him to the playoffs next year. Okay, real quick before we get to wrestling, high school basketball tournaments got underway last night. Usually these in first round, especially in 1A, 1, and 2. Well, the 18 brackets. Some of these are 7 because they were buys last night. Central Plains beat Maxville 58-30, so they advance on. Fairfield pulled, I guess, an upset. They were the 5 seed, beat Fairfield 58-43, who was a 4 seed. That was in the Little River Substate. At the Kinsley Substate, Kinsley got beat by Spearville 69-18. At Quinter, Ness City beat La Crosse 43-30, and Victoria got beat by Decatur Community 55-31. And Chase, I told you, they're going to the state tournament. They beat Otis Bison 30. I think I'll throw that by Connor, just kind of throw it out there and see. Chase beat Otis Bison last night, 39-38. Now they get Wilson in the semifinals of at the Ransom Substate. Hey, the Cats have all their players now.
All jokes aside, I wonder when the last time the Lady Cats won a playoff game.
They've won 2 in a row for the last 2 years. First time that's happened in 15 years at Chase, I'm telling you.
Got it.
And now Wilson, a team that they played close earlier this season at Wilson.
And obviously there's interesting ramifications with Wilson, but you wonder if they'll play. They were ranked, and I wonder if they'll play a little extra hard knowing that that's the last team.
But do you actually play harder if you know you're the last team?
Yeah,
I mean, really,
it's
do you
terrible
play-
cliche to say that you're not going to go play your hardest, but
I do think the no pressure from being the low seed, like you have nothing to lose. I think that may factor
Chase
in
has
some.
absolutely nothing to lose,
Exactly,
okay?
right? Like they've got nothing to lose. Full hearts, can't lose.
And they've got the greatest girls' high school coach in the state leading them in Mike Marzov. I'll say he's my best friend, too. But, watch out when Chase shocks the world. You guys will have to sing a song to me or something.
we'll have
Okay.
him back in with the net around his neck.
Okay.
There we go.
He'll come over probably. We'll give him we'll let him sit in here on
Look at
this.
this.
Okay, real quick, get through some wrestling stuff. We've got Jeremy Combs coming up and more stuff here.
So Great Bend's off to a hot start. They won 5 of their first 9 matches. Currently, the 2 heavyweights from both our 3-2-1A and 5A, Cole Gillen from Hoisington and Brody Schnoblin, have yet to wrestle before I came on here. But overall, it's been a healthy result from the first round. A lot of kids moving on into the winning side, including Tristan Tomlinson from Great Bend, the freshman. Unfortunately for Great Bend, their other 2 freshmen did lose in the first round, but Tomlinson was actually able to get a pin under 40 seconds in that opening round. And then we've talked about it before, the strength of that Panthers schedule, that 138 through about 175. They have 4 wrestlers in there, and Skylar McMullen, Jay Sharts, Cooper Lyles, and Matthew Johnson. And all 4 of them were able to win and advance onto the victory side of the bracket as well, with Cooper Lyles actually getting a tech fall in his opening round, which is what outscored by 15.
Okay. Got any other ones from any Hoisington results there?
Hoisington also having a pretty nice outing so far, as they had a nice little string of Easton Radetsky, Josiah Ball, Derek Yacht, and Taryn Kraft all winning their first match. A couple of them got close to a tech fall. I don't think any of them actually did. Just some major decisions, 10-3 in there for Radetsky and 14-1 for Josiah Ball. So no tech falls, but a lot of major decisions so far and high scoring events especially compared to what we saw in the girls tournament, where it was mostly a lot of pins and a lot of low scoring affairs early.
Larned.
Larned so far has been having a pretty all right go of it. They got off to a good start with Jay Sean George. He's their lowest weight, 106. He's a sophomore. He won in the first round after getting the pin. Nice to see him up. He'll be next up. He may be up right now, honestly, with how fast that tournament is moving. But then Larned's Landon Haney actually lost in his opening round after getting pinned in the second round.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can check all those other reports with coming up on B1043, The Point, and Hits 106.9. Yes, sir.
I think Great Bend won 6 of its first 7, and there were no decisions in there. They're all pins, tech falls, major decisions. So we think maybe Mays and Newton are going for 3rd place, so we need those extra points.
Okay, high school wrestling underway. We've got our wrestling guys in here. Connor wanted to talk wrestling. I said, I've got two wrestling insiders right here with me. Why do I need to go anywhere else? So coming up, Jeremy Combs, Connor Nickel coming up. Also, David Feldbauer, Panther Bowling, all part of the Friday Sports Day show here on KVGB.
Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
The future is bright at Cornwell Farms in St. John. Join us for our 7th annual Angus Bull and Female Sale Tuesday, March 7th at La Crosse Livestock Market, selling at 1 p.m. On the sale, offering 55 Angus bulls, including yearlings, 18-month-olds, and 2-year-olds, 20 fall and spring cow-calf pairs, including 3-in-1 packages. The bulls offered are sired by the best AI bulls in the industry, including Growth Fund, Patriarch, Hometown, Rainfall, Surefire, Unique, Regiment, Rawhide, and more. Performance tested, fertility tested, and ready for service. You can be sure to buy with confidence when you are selecting our genetics. For more information and to find our catalog, visit us online at cornwellfarms.com or on Facebook at Cornwell Farms Angus. Again, Cornwell Farms of St. John is holding their annual Angus Bull and Female Sale at 1 p.m. La Crosse Livestock Market, La Crosse, Kansas. Tuesday, March 7th. Lunch at noon. Cornwell Farms for over 100 years.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back to Sports Day here on KVGB. Barton basketball coach Jeremy Combs join us in studio now. And just got back from Goodland. Just kidding. That's not a bad trip. Heck, you got to go on the interstate, you know?
It's not a bad trip except the time change. That's the only thing that really kind of throws you off.
You know,
we got back about 2:15, 2:20 in the morning, and I'm still trying to recoup from it. And I was giving Jay Herkelman some trouble. I know he's going up there, not this week. And then I said, "You're going to be back about 6:30 in the morning." He said, "Apparently they're staying 2 nights though, so they're going to go up the night before, and then they're going to stay that night, and then they're going to head back."
Softies.
Yeah,
just from one corner of the state to the other.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Went out there and took care of business. Again, 12 of 14 wins now, and just again go out and take care of business. Got close right there at the half. Big run early second half, and you pulled away and got a win on the road.
Yeah, that's kind of the trap game there. You know, it's a game you probably should win. But you know, there's a lot of variables out there, you know, from the type of gym. It's a nice gym. It's just a tough gym to play in. Not very many people there at the game, so you could hear a pin drop, you know, and kind of got to motivate yourself a little bit. And again, like I said, the time change. But I thought we went out there and played pretty good. I don't think we played a great game or a complete game, but I think we you know, jumped on them pretty early, and then they kind of got back into it right before half, and then our second half was pretty nice.
What's been constant for this team over the last month and a half?
You know, just somebody stepping up, and you know, like the other night, Joey came in and played well. You know, he's back. You know that, and we were pretty excited for him for that. I think he's finally in shape and kind of getting his rhythm back again, and so he played well. Probably the most consistent has just been our guard play. I mean, Cougar Downing's just been on fire. Mose Downing, you know, he's been phenomenal.
Cole brought up a great point earlier this week, and you've kind of got a little bit of everything. Yep. You know, you've got shooters, you've got a 6'7" guard.
Yep.
You've got bigs inside that can play with their back to the basket. You've got slashers.
Yep.
So that's kind of handy. Like you said, someone steps up every night maybe to according to the opponent you're playing that particular night.
Yeah, and it's, you know, there is no real rhyme or reason. I mean, we do kind of have a rotation that we go with. The other night against Seward, you know, we kind of went deep into the bench, and Steph was able to play 19 minutes for us and played great. He didn't get quite as many opportunities in our last game just because Joey was playing really well and Amy's been playing well. You know, and so it's just been nice to have people step up. And the other night against Seward, Ring stepped up and hit some big threes, you know. So any given night, I think the guys, you know, are showing up and you know, ready to go, you know, when their number's called.
Be nice if some of the others teams start to lose. all the top teams won on Wednesday night, so
Yeah, I
you're
think
right there in
you're-
that three-way tie right
I think
now.
you're starting to see the elite teams in the conference, and we're kind of separating ourselves. But we've done a really nice job of setting ourselves up pretty good. I think if we can get one, I think if I did the math right, I think if we can get this one on Saturday, I think we got about a 99% chance of locking up a bye and then a first-round home playoff game.
Okay, so I've got a question for you as a coach. So back in my day at Fort Hays State, Fort Hays State always play at Regis, and there was no one there at the games. But they had this hot dog machine on the other side of the court that had a bad motor or something, and you could hear that thing during a free throw. You'd hear that. So, but then you're still doing play-by-play, so you got to announce it. You feel like you're on the edge of the green, at 18. Well, now he's got to.
Yeah.
Did you hear Cole?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I was wondering. Because you're sitting down. I think last time I was up a long time ago, but you're kind of up away a little bit. But yeah, I was kind of wondered, sitting down there, I wonder how the coach is hearing what I'm saying,
Well, from the others, are you okay with that? Do you like that, or is
No,
that,
it's ridiculous because we sit in here and of course we don't know who's out there listening. Maybe thousands, it may be two. I don't know. Maybe your wife's listening, and maybe Carter. But you get in there and you don't. Oh yeah, it's just gosh, someone across the gym can hear me.
Timeouts, we can hear it. I mean, it's the free throws for sure. We could hear it. It was.
Now you're really giving me a complex here. So you can actually hear that stuff.
Well, I was
okay.
worried too when the announcers or when you guys are sitting next to the bench, and I'm over there yelling. So if you can hear everything I'm saying, I'm sure everybody at home can hear.
That's when I
everything
start
I'm saying.
talking faster. You guys got to start talking faster at that point. But yeah, because you get up there and Johnson has hit 7 of his net. He's hit 11 free throws in a row. You try to do that, and it's the opposing team
Then he
up there.
jinxes, yeah.
Jinx it so they can hear, oh, I have hit 11. Bang, and knocks it off the side. Okay, I got a complex now. I know you guys can hear us. Oh, boy, okay. I'm glad I'm up on the wall tonight.
Well, that's the only place that I've been able to hear him.
Okay.
So we're good. Just one game.
Did you just turn around and give him a thumbs up, on a big 3 call
I
or
just
something?
try to ignore it. I didn't know how he felt about it.
Okay, so you got the play-by-play broadcast right in your ear up at Goodland. Okay, got Colby coming in on Saturday. Talk about a trap game. I guess that would be it.
Yeah, another one. And it's sophomore night. I hope we're focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions that night, and but it's one of those games. If we just take care of business and do what we've been doing, we should be fine. But they've got a really nice team. I mean, they've got they got 2 D1 transfers, one from Nebraska, one from Oklahoma, and they can really score. They're just lacking depth. So I think if we defend and we play fast like we're supposed to, then we should wear them down a little bit.
Especially at this time of year, you're talking about some of the separation. Teams start to see, okay, well, we got another week to go in the season, and we're going to pack it up. We can rest and go do other things after that. Applying the knockout blow to these teams early, you can just they'll head home.
Yeah, I think that's important. We always talk about the first 5 minutes of each half, and coming out playing strong, and then we kind of build from there, and then we start talking about winning the first half, and then that first 5 minutes in the second, and then winning the second half. And if we can do that, we're going to win a lot of ball games. But it's a tough situation too, because I don't think they're going to have a chance to make the tournament, so they're not really playing for much. And sometimes when people aren't playing for anything, they're pretty dangerous. The basket just seems a little bit bigger when there's nothing to gain or lose.
Okay, and then you wrap it up with Dodge City. They're sitting at 17-5 right now. I guess they could drop their lives. Crazy things could happen. But how much do you show at this time of year, and how much are you planning on introducing and changing some as you go into postseason?
I don't really think we're going to change much. I'm a firm believer in we don't have to have 50 sets, but we just need 5 to 10 sets that we run really, really good. And I think it's a deal too where defensively, we're just going to keep doing what's been working. We're not going to go into a game usually and look at this and go, hey, let's just play these guys zone the whole game when we've been playing man all season long. So I think we're just going to, if it's not broke, don't fix it type deal.
I don't usually ask coaches this unless I know the answer, because I've asked them this, off the air, and the answer is no. But I would assume that if I ask you, do you like this team?
I had a a coaching buddy that was just a very, very successful coach, and he always said, if you like your team, you're probably not very good. But if you love your team, you're pretty darn good. And so he would always see every year, he'll text me, and he'll say, hey, do you like them or love them? And I love this team.
Good point, yeah.
I love this team. I think, like you said earlier, we've got a lot of different pieces, and I got great kids too. And that's, doing this for so long, I can't coach kids that don't want to be coachable and things like that. And I got a bunch of guys that want to be coached and want to get better, want to get to the next level. So this is a team that I really, really enjoy coaching, and so I definitely love these guys.
The coaches that last the longest, especially in junior college, are the ones that do just like you said. Man, it's not worth all the headaches.
Yeah, no, and it's for me. I mean, obviously, I want to win games and that type of thing, and that's going to help us get those guys to the next level. I use junior college to get to the next level, and I think it's something that really works. And so I see these kids being in, these situations, whatever it may be, and then, me being able to help them get to the next level and develop their game and get them where they want to go. So that's what I enjoy the most.
Jeremy Combs with us here, and good luck tomorrow on sophomore day. And of course, we can't let you go without Great Bend Hayes tonight, round number 2. What do you think?
It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. They're going to play well. I hope that Great Bend doesn't kind of overlook them, since they whopped them pretty good back at our place. But it'll be a tough place to play, and I know their coaches up there, and they get their kids to play hard, and they'll be ready for us. So, if we're not locked in, it'll be a long night for us.
It's going to be fun.
It will be.
See you up there.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Jeremy Combs with us here on Nickel, KVGB Basketball Insider, all over the high school prep scene. Coming up next.
Explore the world of Rossum's Universal Robots, presented by Barton Theater, with multiple showings from March 2nd through the 4th and March 9th through the 11th. In this sci-fi suspense classic, humans have created robots meant to serve humankind, but the robots have other plans, and an epic battle between man and machine erupts. The show has been adapted and modernized by Barton Theater from the original 1921 production. Visit shows.bartoncccc.edu for tickets.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
You don't have to miss a beat from the Kansas State High School Wrestling Tournament thanks to Hits 106.9 and B104.3 The Point. Our quick and reliable reports will keep you in the loop on all the matches. Girls on Wednesday and Thursday, boys on Friday and Saturday, with recaps on Sunday. Starting at 9 a.m., get a rundown of the latest results and know who's on top. State wrestling coverage is powered by Hazmat Response, Stone Sand Company and Stone Waste Management, Johnson Electric Motor Winding, and Dom Pipe Testing.
Making healthcare decisions for yourself or someone who is no longer able to do so can be overwhelming. Mark your calendar and join Clara Barton Medical Center Monday, February 27th at 6 p.m. for an informative session about advanced care planning. Representatives from Watkins Calcara Law Firm will speak about the importance of honoring care decisions and preparing healthcare directives in advance. That's Monday, February 27th, 6 p.m. at Clara Barton Medical Center. Please use conference room entrance on Green Street.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
High School Friday, the last regular season High School Friday. And heck, we've got postseason underway for high school basketball in Class 1A boys tonight in our area. And to help us break it all down, heck, we might even get to some wrestling too, is Sports in Kansas. Connor Nickel, we call him our KVGB Basketball Insider, ready to go tonight. I think I'm going to run into you tonight. You're going to be over at the Hayes High Great Bend game for a little bit. I think we're going to chat between games. I think that'll be solid conversation.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great night. Excited to see you guys play. You know, Hayes High and Great Bend. Just to touch on this really quickly. Obviously, Great Bend won that first matchup. You can tell Hayes High boys, of course, Coach Sean Dreiling did a great job at Trigo, a former Fort Hays player. His wife has actually taught in USD 49 for a really long time. the last 7, 8, 9 games, they've been exceptional on defense. They've only lost to ranked teams, and most of those are very highly ranked teams. And Massey ratings, which combines strength of schedule and quality of games, lists Hayes High boys as the number 24 defense for all classes. Now, the offense lags some. They're at 72. Great Bend has the number 50 offense and the number 95 defense. Obviously, GB has scored it well. Both of these teams, the same exact record. And, of course, we very, very much presume the first of two matchups, obviously tonight, and then for Sub-State 2. There are two teams that have already clinched winning seasons, which, considering personnel and how inexperienced Hayes High is and how young Great Bend is, both teams have got to feel really good, but both teams will feel a lot better if they can beat their rival here twice coming up.
Yeah, and they'll play them probably again next Wednesday night. They'll hook up again depending on who wins tonight's where the game's going to be. So it's fun. Game number 20 of the season, a little bit on the line. We'll break that game down tonight since you're going to be courtside with me tonight for a little bit. So we'll break down more of the Hayes High Great Bend game tonight. I want to ask you about Chasen Vanderweg. No one talks about him as much. But anyway, I'm going to talk about him tonight so we can break down Vanderweg's game. I want to talk about some of the other things that you have going on here. I know one of the ones that it's 1A Division II. Stafford and Pawnee Heights, they're kind of headed on a collision course at the Ransom Sub-State. And two teams, well, I know Stafford, they've been in the state tournament, one time, Connor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the things that I looked at with Sports in Kansas this week was teams that have especially on 3A on down, teams that have a very good chance to make the state tournament this year that have not been to state for a very long time. Some of these we've talked about previously this year. Coach Joyner's squad, obviously the Eagles, no state berths since 1984. The lacrosse boys we've touched on. They've had a great year in line for their first state berth since 1991. Stafford, no state berth since 1947. This was a 14-win team last year. They returned the bulk of their key guys. Josh Hildebrand has had a great season, making over half of his shots, averaging right around 10 boards a game, over 1 block per contest. And Dakota Rodriguez and Colson Minks have put together really nice seasons as well. They, as a team, they've shot the ball really well. Colson just over 10 points per game, and then Rodriguez slightly above that. So you've got three players who are consistently scoring for Stafford. It's been really nice to see how they've done. Obviously, Pawnee Heights with Carlson will be the favorite. Of course, Pawnee Heights has been beaten this year by Jetmore in a very close game. They suffered some other losses too. I mean, again, the story with Pawnee Heights, Carlson will get his 30 points, but what will Pawnee Heights do with players 2 through 4? I think Stafford, honestly, is probably a bit deeper. It should be an exceptional matchup. And again, if Stafford can break through and make state, that'll be a statewide story for sure.
Lacrosse really hasn't, like you said, they've had a really nice season. It's kind of gone under the radar. They get sent up to Quinter. Tell me about that sub-state and maybe what the Leopards' chances are of making a state tournament.
Yeah, and they probably should qualify. Quinter, where my in-laws are from, a lot of those kids, if I don't know their kid, I know their family in some form. Coach John Christ, this is his 31st year there. And Quinter's got a lot of just overall good athletes. But what the Leopards have done this year, we've talked about Caden Morgan. I mean, he's going to be an exceptional baseball player, too. He was last spring. What lacrosse has done this year as far as shooting and their pace They play at a really strong, fast pace. Quinter also likes playing at a very, very fast pace too. But I think that the Leopards have more just overall talent. They're a little bit deeper too. Talking with somebody earlier this week who's kind of adjacent to the program, they felt like, hey, we've got a really good shot to make state, and this should be a team that should go to state. Quinter, again, playing at home. I believe they returned 3 or 4 starters from last year. Will certainly, play very, very well. But yeah, again, for the Leopards this year, this is their best chance to go to state in a really, really long time.
Okay, 2A boys sub-state at Sterling. The Ellenwood Eagles are ranked 5th right now. They're 19-1. They have lost to Sterling each of the last 3 years. This time they'll have to, if they're going to get the win, they're going to have to do it on the home court. It would come in the semifinals because there are 2 other ranked teams on the other side of the bracket. Mound Ridge is ranked 3rd. Inman is ranked 7th. What are the Eagles' chances of finally breaking through and getting to a state tournament for the first time since 1984?
Well, and again, this has been a storyline that we've talked about for a really long time, and I want to hit on 3 just quick points here. Coach Joyner, he said it to me. He said it to you. He's been really relaxed this season, just saying, do what we do. Not really worrying about the opponent too much. They're very, very senior heavy, of course. But the Southeast of Saline and that loss, their coach made some comments about the Eagles, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, Britt Dutton got 30, but we forced him to take only 2 open shots, and we contained everybody else. Parker Scheck has to play well. Obviously, Brock's got to hit shots too. They've got to get enough from everybody else. Are the Eagles the favorite? Yes, but will Sterling be playing on their home court? But there's no Tyus Wilson. I mean, this is a good Sterling team. This is not a great Sterling team. And then I assume that Mound Ridge will win the other semi. And then we've got that really spicy championship game, possibly. Vance Unrau's potentially last game as the Mound Ridge coach, going against Britt Dutton and trying to make state.
You don't think Clint Kinnaman would get in there and upset the whole apple cart, do you?
He certainly could. I did some stuff on Remington last year, obviously prior to him taking over. They broke through last year, had a +8 or 9 win improvement. Coach K has done an exceptional job this year. They're very, very balanced. They don't have a player like Dutton, nor what Inman brings to. I mean, Tanner Hackleby Jr. is an exceptional player. Just cleared 1,000 career points. He's been their starting quarterback several years. They've got the Brunk kid as well. He's got a vertical, I think, of 36. I mean, Inman's athletes are just amazing. Now, Mound Ridge has beaten them twice this season. But I think that, Coach K, with his coaching, his style, the different defenses he does, he will be a really hard challenge for sure.
I want to go back to Ransom. You don't think there's any way Wilson loses to Chase, do you? That's
on the
girls'
side?
Yeah.
No. I know we've talked about Wilson and Wilson girls. Obviously, their school will close here in roughly 3 months, and they've been a very interesting story this year. They've made it to state relatively recently. I think it's 9 years ago. But this was a 7-8 win team last year. They've beaten everybody on their schedule who they are supposed to beat. Really, against higher quality opponents, they haven't been very, very competitive. But this is a sub-state that matches up really, really well for them. For Wilson to make it to state in their last year as a school has been a really cool story to follow.
Okay, and so Great Bend didn't go to the shootout this year. the field this year, all those teams that were in that tournament have gone on to play pretty good basketball.
This has been an amazing stat. I've kind of tracked it in previous years too, but especially this year. So there were 8 teams in the Hayes City Shootout boys side this year. If you take out Newton, you have 7 teams left. Those 7 teams since the shootout are a combined 86 and 24, which is amazing. TMP 17-0 since the shootout, including a win against Great Bend. Hugoton 17-0. Then you've got a couple of further east schools, Olathe West, which is still a 6A favorite, 12-4. Lawrence Free State with Sharon Collins as their coach, 9-6. Manhattan 10-6, and Hayes High, who we've previously mentioned, 9-6 as well too. And then Life Prep, which is non-Acacia, is 12-2. You know, there was talk even in December about, my goodness, this shootout field could be amazing, and if we can get one win here, that would bode really, really well. And you look back, and people have said that even with TMP beating Great Bend, well, wow. I mean, TMP has not lost since. I mean, 17 straight wins. You know, TMP has won 3 games at the buzzer this year. They've got one more 1-point win, and they've got a 2-point win too. I mean, TMP's ability to win close games. This is why we've been talking about 2A. If TMP can get through that MCL sub-state facing either Hoxie or Hill City for a third time, they're going to be a very strong 2A state favorite.
And back to the Western Athletic Conference here real quick. Sometimes there's matchups. Dodge City beats Liberal last night. I thought Liberal was really starting to play pretty good basketball, and then Dodge City slows it down, and they win last night and get a piece of the WAC crown. That's amazing. Liberal ends the year 16-3. 2 of their losses are to Dodge City.
Yeah, what the Dodge City girls have done, and Kelly Snodgrass is a really amazing coach. And this year, outside of Unruh, you know, she realized fairly early on, I do not have the scoring ability that I've had the last 3 or 4 years. You know, there was the other Unruh daughter who plays now at Bethany. You know, Lauren Gleason played in college. Obviously, Camry Johnson, you know, last year averaged 19 or 20 per game, an exceptional scorer. That's not the case this year. But they've slowed it down, and they've won a bunch of close games in the 30s. You know, they had beaten the Redskins earlier this year. They beat Hayes High by 1. And obviously, Hayes High last Friday night had to go to overtime to win. You know, I'm going to actually nominate. I mean, she won't win, but I'm going to nominate Coach Snodgrass for 6A coach of this year, kind of a down ballot type of coach, because she has done an exceptional job this year of beating 3 to 5 teams that on paper are better than Dodge. An amazing coaching job of fitting your personnel to how the game should be played.
Well, they played Tuesday night, the number 1 and 2 teams in Class 1A1, Central Plains girls and Little River. Little River gets the win in Claflin. Can Central Plains pull an upset and get back to another state tournament, Connor Nickel?
Well, it was interesting. I texted with somebody literally a half an hour out after this game, and the Eck girl from LR scored, I think, 35 points. And somebody texted me, when was the last time that Pat Stiles allowed a girl to score 35 points? And I texted back, J.C. Kramer, Jefferson County North, 9 years ago. That this is just a guess. The point is, it's been a really long time, okay? But I think that if you are CP, you walk out of there and you say, you know, X gets around 20 a night, okay? If we can hold X to her season scoring average, we win that game. I think LR wins by 10 points or so.
Yeah.
It was a very high-scoring game. And somebody else kind of told me, too, you know, Coach Pat Stiles will always adjust. He and Coach Ryan are amazing coaches. it's very unfortunate and quite honestly sad that Keisha put two state champions from last year, CP and Pretty Prairie, and then, of course, LR, which won state volleyball, all in the same sub-state. Said this for a month now. Whoever wins that sub-state is your automatic state championship favorite. I really do believe that. But I think CP and LR, again, if CP can say, we're going to hold down Eck, we've got a great shot to go back to state.
Yeah, don't forget about Pretty Prairie's in there, too. So, Connor, I'd let you talk about wrestling, but we've gone a little bit long here. And, you know, with Aaron Clark and Corson both covering state wrestling, too, they'd feel threatened if we let you, comment on it. So, hey, I will talk to you tonight between games, Great Bend and Hayes, and we'll break down that boys game. Should be a great one tonight. Appreciate the time.
Hey, certainly, Steve-O. Thanks so much.
Okay, that's the one and only Connor Nickel with us here on Sports Day. Mike Corson back. He'll be talking Great Bend Panther bowling when we come back. Lady Panthers headed to the state tournament next week. All of it right here on Sports.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
To be the king of the road, you have to fill with the king of diesels. We're talking about Cenex Premium Diesel. It comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Roadmaster XL even cleans up and prevents injector fouling to keep your trucks out of the shop and on the road. And typical number 2 diesel? That's always an option. The wrong option. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. Pretty nice week for you guys, school record and state qualification.
Yeah, it was a good week. Girls bowled hard and was able to come out with a good second place win at regionals to go to state. So it's been a good time.
We'll go back to Monday first. Makeup day at Hayes. The girls go up there and set a new school record. Anything in particular that they were able to do that day?
My main 4 girls were on target all day long. They were having a good time and just kept rolling. 2 girls set new high games for themselves and new high series for themselves, so it was a really good day. So I'm just real proud of them to actually focus in and have a little fun and was able to roll a lot of strikes.
And I always like to see the 700 series. Kaylin Wallmeyer goes 257 and 244, but goes 191 in her final game for 692. Sahara Shihal goes 258, 221, 200, 679. And Aaliyah Freiberger had a 269 for 633, so some crazy scores up there. Boys side, Jalen Daniels, 672 series, over 200 all 3 games. Pretty pleased with that effort?
Oh, yeah, Jalen was on fire. He was doing really good. Kept a level head, was able to keep rolling the ball well. Just did very good that day. So.
And we'll go to regionals then. Bueller hosted it, but it was in Hutchinson. I know the expectations are high for the Lady Panther team, but so actually surprised to see him finish behind Salina South in second?
No, we did. I mean, Salina South has always been tough all year. They were bowling just as strong, just as tough as we were. And I knew it was going to be a battle for first and second between us two. And really having it come down to 21 pins is nothing. I mean, that's a couple marks here, a couple marks there that both teams just one made, one missed. But other than that, no, we all bowled really well and had a good day.
And speaking of Kaylin Wallmeyer, she had a slow start at 161, but then goes 248, 247. So she wins the individual regional title with a 656. And then how about you got a freshman up there, Zoe Mayberry, that goes 226 to open, and she finishes seventh overall with a 575. Pretty awesome to see a freshman performing at a regional.
Oh, yeah. She did really well. She started watching the scores at the end, struggled that last game, but other than that, she did really well. Was throwing a good ball all day, so real happy with her performance.
On the boys' side, probably knew maybe you were on the outside looking in as a team, but pleased to get Caleb McNett in as an individual?
Yeah, real pleased with him. He actually did exactly what I told him to do, and he was able to roll the ball well, and he got a lot of strikes and just enough to get himself qualified for state, which is great.
We're talking to
for his first time.
Talking to Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. Yeah, and you've had those boys who are interchangeable all year, so is it actually disappointing that maybe even 2 or 3 of them didn't make it through?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed not to see Jalen and Dylan really come out and perform, but that shot at Hutch was really tough, and if you weren't on and you weren't hitting your spot all day, you just weren't gonna mark, and it was one of those times where it was just nerves were getting the best of them, and they just didn't perform as well as I was hoping, but they at least were able to compete. I mean, we went in there in like 5th and 6th spot as average-wise, and we left in 6th. So we stayed where we were supposed to be, but I was really hoping to improve a little bit.
Quick preview, the Class 5 1A State Bowling Championships coming up. You guys had a lot of success at the big tournament at North Rock Lanes before. How big will that success be going into the state tournament?
I think our girls have a really good shot at bringing home a trophy this year. Their performance all year has shown up. They've dominated last time we were at North Rock, so I think they're going to have a great day. They're just going to have to relax the nerves a little bit and just throw the ball like they have all year, and I think we'll be okay.
Is there anything particular about North Rock that their scores there have been exceptionally high? Anything lane-wise that leads to that?
I mean, their oil shot or their lane pattern is pretty similar to what we bowl on here at Walnut Bowl, so it helps us out a little bit. Being able to practice here all the time gets the girls comfortable and just makes them, want to have fun again.
Individually wise, you got Kaylin Wallmeyer, the defending state champ. Obviously, expectations high for her. Anybody else in particular?
I think Sahara Sheha and Aliyah Freiberger is really going to shine this year at state. I know it's their senior year, and I know they both have been there this makes their 3rd year going to state. So I think their nerves aren't going to be as bad, and I think they're going to be able to perform pretty well this year. One other thing you might want to add is Kaylin Wallmeyer is the Triple Crown. She has won the WAC, regionals, and state now. She's the only one that I believe has won that.
Coach David Feldbauer, the Panthers and Lady Panthers and Caleb McNett, state action Thursday at Wichita's North Rock Lanes. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
More Sports Day after this.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
It's going to wrap up Sports Day today. Steve Webster, Mike Corson, we're left here. You're getting a bug like Hesh did.
Like running the sitting here all day bug?
No, doing cool things on the live stream that we've got going on. So you're like the producer engineer over there. That's pretty cool. And you do interviews, so that's pretty neat getting Coach Feldbauer on here.
It's only getting better. If you haven't checked out the YouTube, we got all kinds of little promo videos in there now. It's not just us talking on camera. We continue to improve that product.
The less they can put us on screen, probably the better. But it's a great show this week. Had a new football coach from Larned on. All the kids that came through here. So had a second-place finisher, first time ever for Great Bend Panther swimmer. So great work. We'll see you on Monday, Mikey.
We'll see you.
That's Sports Day on KVGB.